What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Real Fan Sports. My name is Zach. I'm here with my co-host Nonpfixion. We are your finalists for the evening. Non, how you doing today?
I am doing well, my friend. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. We are going to keep digging our way down the rabbit hole of that is Bathurst. So we reacted to our first Bathurst video. We've had a couple more, and maybe they've came out, maybe they haven't. But this one's similar to the first one. It's called Why You Should Watch the Bathurst 1000. So I'm interested to see what some different point of views, and maybe they'll explain some things a little bit differently to us. I think this one might actually go over the history of Bathurst a little more, so I'm kind of excited to learn about that. Wait, let's go ahead and get on into it.
Down a list of the great races, and you'll no doubt get the likes of the Indy 500 and 24 Hour of Le Mans. But the one race that I look forward to is one that takes place on a hill in the middle of the worst state in Australia. Look, I'm sorry, New South Wales, but you have this, and this. But getting back on track, the race in question is the Bogan Festival, that is the Bathurst 1000, and will serve as the final round of this year's Supercars Championship. Now, I'm sure some of you will be wondering how this could compare with the likes of the Indy 500, Daytona 500, or the 24 Hour Le Mans. Well, sit down, if you aren't already, and let me give you the skinny.
And let me give you the skinny. Okay.
In 1960, the Light Car Club of Australia organised a race called the Armstrong 500, which was being held at the Phillip Island Grand Prix over 500 miles with standard production cars. It was divided into classes based on engine capacity, or price, or the customer's hair colour, but by 1962, the track surface was falling apart like Joe Soward in a heatwave, and thus the race needed a new home. They found it at the Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. The 3.9-mile circuit hosted its first event in 1963. The race was extended from 500 miles to 1,000 kilometers in 1973, and also served as the 8th round of the World Touring Car Championship back in 1987. Nowadays, the 1,000...
You know what's the one thing that interests me most about like car racing from that early on is at what point they decided it's like, all right, now it's time to see what they can do. Right? You know, at first, the invention of just vehicles was just an easier way to transport for the rich to be able to get past and get somewhere easier. You know, you don't need your horses no more. And then it's like, at what point and what crazy person that was like, now let's see how fast we can get them to go around curves and race against other cars and other dangers. Well, what psychopath came up with that?
If you look at the history of NASCAR, it actually became NASCAR because of the Prohibition.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, early NASCAR drivers were actual Prohibition drivers back in the day that would sneak the alcohol between state lines, and so they would have some of the most fastest cars in the country, and so they would drive from Texas to here, from Louisiana to Vegas, and they would compete against each other to see who can get there fastest. And then one day somebody decided to have them race each other. And that's the early stages of NASCAR. That's how NASCAR started, because of Prohibition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you have got some interesting facts. And yeah, like if I didn't know better, I would think you looked that up and read this on Google. Man, that's crazy. Hey, the more you know.
Because of that, that's how I started watching NASCAR even more, because I thought that was interesting.
No, that is interesting. I've never heard of that before. That's insane.
Remember the Dukes of Hazzard? They were
it's kind of the same idea.
They were running beer. They were beer runners.
Yeah. Moonshine is what they're running. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, moonshine.
You know what? I know we're going on a long wind, guys. We'll get back to the video in a second. But we had someone in the comments that said something. They're like, oh yeah, when I think of NASCAR, I think of They named some old movie, it kind of trying to make fun of it. And I said, don't you throw disrespect to the general from Duke of Hazzard, okay?
Not the general.
Don't disrespect the general.
Regardless how racist that flag is, the general is still the general.
There you go. Let's get back to it.
We still love the
championship that is held throughout Australasia. Known as the Great Race down in this part of the world, this event has seen some insane races and some spectacular moments in its history. And there is every reason why you should be watching this event. So I'm going to provide a rundown of this year's event and convince you as to why this is the Great Race. So as I've mentioned before, the race is held at the Mount Panorama Circuit at Bathurst. This thing is regarded as one of the best racetracks in the world. And having made the trip to the venue over the last couple of years, there's there's good reason for it. The first turn drivers have to negotiate is Hell Corner. It's easy to get it wrong here, and if you do, you're going to have a real bad time. It's also vital to get a good exit out of this corner for a good run up mountain straight.
Look how high that mountain looks on this clip.
The cars will become slightly airborne over the hump before heading into the negatively cambered Griffin's Bend. But be careful not to stray too far offline here, otherwise you're gonna smack. Running up the hill, the next series of corners is at the cutting, which has a steep 1 in 6 gradient exit, and trust me, it's a bastard to walk up. But with the cars, it's even more precarious, as any wrong footing will lead to big problems. Oh yeah, that incident? Well, to explain what happened here, I've drafted in an Aussie to give you the lowdown.
Seriously, a lot can happen over the course of 1,000 kilometers. And a perfect example of this was in 2005, where two drivers would quite literally go head to head, but outside of the car. The two drivers, being Marcus Ambrose and Greg Murphy, would collide on lap 144 and leave behind what looked like a 8-cylinder car park behind them. Ambrose was ahead of Murphy of the exit of Griffin's,
many cars got stuck in that.
Yeah, and I think Murphy's the guy that we just reacted to for his what did they say, fastest lap of hell or something like that, or lap of hell? That's what they called it.
Yeah,
that's who we just reacted to.
Pretty much took the record. Yeah.
Ended up sideways after being tagged by Murphy. Well, depending on how you look at it. Ambrose's car would then mount the barrier and almost look like it was going to fall over the other side into the bushland. After the two cars came to a stop, Murphy stood in front of his car as Ambrose got out and made his charge towards him, taking off his helmet, then his balaclava, and of course, his gloves. The two drivers had some friendly words, pointed fingers, and yelled at each other like two blokes having a disagreement at the pub. The legend of this moment will always be in my memory. Two blokes wanting to just beat the living daylights out of each other on a mountain out in the middle of nowhere in New South Wales. This to me is Australian motorsport in its prime.
Thank you very much, Gio, for coming along. So coming out of the cutting, we're into Reed Park, which for the first section of that could be rather uneventful. However, the second right turn, you kind of need to get that right, otherwise you're in for a big-ass crash.
Yeah,
but if you do manage to crash at this section of the track, at least you'll be in peace of mind knowing that you're at the top of the mountain, and with the fine folk that camp at this section of the track.
Yo, hey, shout out to Josh Rebel, man. He puts on a nice little show.
The next section of the track is called Park, and this is where the track begins to edge a little more on the scary side. In fact, with it comes the shortest horror story in motor racing history.
That's great.
Why is this scary? Well...
Oh yeah, because I mean, I guess you hit that grate, you lose all traction, right? So you just go spinning.
Damn.
I think we actually had a bunch of people in the comments that mentioned it, and they were saying how they forgot about the kangaroos, and they said and the grate, and I didn't know what the heck they were talking about whenever they said it, but yeah, that's not something you'd like to see on a racetrack. Is a drain.
And that's the thing, because it is a natural road. It's not just not made
they
for
have
the
to
races,
have it, yeah.
Yeah, it's drainage, yeah.
Wow.
I do believe from that first video, the dude that talks about the track. Oh my god!
My god! Who reminded us for that? You thought he did say it? I don't remember him saying it. Did
I think he says it because he talks about how when he comes down, that your wheel only has this much space to get around it, not to miss it. You want to miss it. You don't want to hit it.
Maybe so, and I just didn't realize what he was actually talking about.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Jesus.
Going on from there, the cars will scream through McPhillamy Park, a fast section of the track with a panoramic view across Brock's skyline that reminds you how bloody high you are. So imagine if Frank Montagny was driving. Then we begin to run down the hill, beginning with yeses.
Steep,
it's crucial that you slow down enough through this section, otherwise you're going to learn the hard way that car versus wall often leads to big ouch. Then there's the dipper, basically the Aussie version of the corkscrew, only with this one there's no runoff.
The corkscrew. That's the corkscrew.
Coming out of the dipper, you then make the approach toward Forest Elbow, which is a prime overtaking opportunity, provided you do it right, before making the long run down Conrod Straight. Here the cars get close to or at 300 kilometers an hour. The road rises and falls away as the cars build up speed.
You
for
rarely
the cars
see
behind,
gold on cars
it's an opportunity to get into the draft and prepare for another move at the chase, which is another great opportunity for passing. The one thing you don't want at this part of the track is a tyre failure. But guess what? That's happened here before. Exiting the chase leads you to the final corner at Murray's. A 90-degree corner, you say? Easy, you reckon? Yeah, tell that to Alexander Rossi. And therein is a lap of Mount Panorama, but really, me explaining it doesn't do justice. You need to witness these cars try and put 650 horsepower to the ground on a track barely wide enough for luge racing. As for the teams and drivers,
and you can see them leaving the tires leaving
I'll give you the skinny on some drivers of note. There is Scott McLaughlin, 3-time Supercars champion and the defending Bathurst 1000 winner. Craig Lowndes, 7-time winner on the mountain and 3-time Supercars champion.
7-time winner.
7-time Supercars champion and 4-time winner of the Great Race. In fact, overall, there are 11 people on the grid who have won the Bathurst 1000 race in the past. Although there will be plenty of people hungry for their first Bathurst title.
That's kind of insane, right? That doesn't sound real to me. I mean, because we saw earlier that the race was going on since the 1960s, I think was what it showed in the very beginning. So I don't even know if that's the earliest, but they're saying only 11 winners?
But it kind of makes sense because when you look at, from my point of view of NASCAR, sometimes there's 1 or 2 people that usually control and win most of the matches for a certain amount of time. Yeah. So I mean, I could kind of believe that. I can kind of believe that because I think, especially when you look at Bathurst, the type of brains and balls it takes to win that. Once you get it that first time,
once you know the track,
you know exactly what it takes. So you can beat other people out because the mind games the track plays on you, you've already kind of semi-conquered that. So I can see that. I could kind of see that.
I guess so.
Including Toyota Racing Series champion
Thomas
Randall, British Formula Ford champion Scott Pye, Blancpain GT Series and Supercars champion Shane Van Gisbergen, Japan F3 champion and Jaguar F1 test driver James Courtney, and Brody Kostecki, who is
test driver.
On a serious note, the grid is sorted through a qualification.
Wait, what?
Can someone please give us the inside scoop on that joke? Because why'd he put chunk on the thing? Wait.
Serious note, this guy's fast.
Wait, he lost weight.
Before that, you got to go back before it.
Oh, he lost weight too. Wait, what? I'm so confused why they called him chunk.
And Brody Kostecki, who is On a serious note, this guy's fast. The grid is sorted through a qualifying format where 11th place
maybe he was
is decided through
bigger
the first
driver
session, while the top 10 are decided in a one-lap shootout, which is one of the more spectacular parts of not just the weekend, but the entire season of Supercars racing. Pole position is not too bad, although not really vital. Since 1997, there have only been 5 occasions where the pole sitter took victory at the end of the day. So there is a good chance that the fastest car on Saturday will not claim the Peter Brock Trophy on Sunday. So this year's race starts at 11:30 a.m. Aussie time on the 18th of October, and I beg and plead with anyone unfamiliar with this race to give it a watch. Or don't, and I could just go f*** myself. Or perhaps there are some people who have watched
I like
the race.
you.
What are your memories of this race?
Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscription.
Keep it respectful, be wholesome, don't be a manus, and as always, I'll see you all later.
I like how you even tell. I'm about to start calling people manus now from now on the channel. Next time we do an NRL stream and someone says something out their box, call them a manus. So you're gonna be like, wait, what? How you know that? All right. Look, Josh, you're funny, but I promise you, I ain't trying to hear you sing that song right now. Thank you, Josh. I hit the subscribe button already. Don't make me take it back. Don't make me take it back. Oh my goodness. So, first thing is the fact that the people who win on Saturday are not likely to win on Sunday is kind of crazy to me, especially just watching these highlights. Obviously, we haven't got to see a whole race yet. Hopefully, we'll be able to see some, if not all of it. I believe it's in October. But
I think October.
But the turns are so tight and stuff like that. There's only certain opportunities where you're actually able to overtake. So the fact that you won that, you have the best lead position, and it's unlikely for you to win is kind of insane.
Yeah, it actually is kind of insane. So it's almost like the shootouts. It's really its own event. So you're doing it just for the notoriety of it, knowing that it's a good possibility that you're not going to win the race, or it doesn't. It's not a determinant of you.
Yeah, it's not a determining factor. Right. Yeah, it's not a determining factor.
But it is a claim to fame if you can break that record.
Oh, big facts.
Yeah.
This was interesting, man. I like how the first one we watched. gave us like the ultra dramatic effect of the race, right? This one kind of gave that, but it also kind of gave us the funny. We showed a couple of crashes and things like that. Like this was really fun. I enjoyed this one. Whoever recommended us to react to this video, thank you. I appreciate that. This was really, really fun.
Most definitely.
And like we always say, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, let us know in the comments why. And if you did, also let us know why you loved it. Give us some more recommendation. I mean, look, we just want comments. I like reading y'all's comments. Yeah. So go ahead.
But also, if you didn't like it, definitely still hit the like button though.
I mean, you could always do that, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
It's just a button.
It's a button.
But anyway, guys, we'll catch y'all next time. My name is Zach. I'm here with my partner, Nonpfixion, and we out of here, guys. Cheers.
Peace out.